Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Csaba Szalai, proud member of the Audi Hungarian team. Welcome you from Budapest, from the capital of Hungary. And let me introduce you Ádám Horváth, who has also joined us, who will be the speaker of this session from Audi Hungary. He will talk about the lean assessment project, a lean maturity assessment system actually that was applied in the production areas of the vehicle factory. This is a story to which the Audi Hungary team also contributed. He will go into details about it later. And Ádám will explain you the tool we used, the assessment tool we used, the process we followed, and the lessons we learned during this project. Before he starts, let me shortly summarize and share with you some highlights from his professional background. His lean journey started 15 years ago at Lufthansa Global Load Control. And after 5 years, he moved to Audi and worked as a CI expert. Then later he moved to Volkswagen, to the headquarters in Wolfsburg, where he worked as a manufacturing engineer, always thinking and working in the field, also in the field of lean and with the lean tools and with the lean mindset. And then later he moved back to Győr, to the Audi vehicle plant. Now he works there as a lean project manager. So he will share with you the story about this lean maturity assessment. Enjoy it. And you will have to ask the opportunity to ask questions if you use, this is very important point, if you use the chat window and the chat function of Zoom. And then we will have 5 minutes at the end of the session where we can answer, or Ádám can answer all of your questions. So please feel free to use the chat function. And if any questions come into your mind, just type it down and then we will answer it at the end of the session. So I hand over the word to you, Ádám. The stage is yours.
Okay, thank you, Csaba, and thank you for the nice words. Hello, everyone. Welcome, and thank you for being here today. I have to admit that usually in the daily life within Audi, I'm using more German than English, so it's quite a challenge for me to speak now and to present now in English, but I will try to do my best. And I'm really honored to present our lean maturity assessment, which is a step in our ongoing journey towards operational excellence. But before we're gonna go to the deep dive, I would like to share some basic thoughts about Audi Hungary and how lean stands by Audi Hungary, or lean, or as we say it, Audi production system. Audi Hungary has a 31 years of history of embracing lean methodologies. Over the years, we implemented numerous lean methods, practices, and conducted a lot of trainings regarding developing the lean and continuous improvement culture. Our latest program was the Lean Leadership Program, where all our management team and also our colleagues took part. This program was strengthened our lean mindset in a theoretical level and also with some practice examples. But of course, we wanted to check the impact of this program. Therefore, we were using the lean maturity assessment. And it's really important to highlight that this lean maturity assessment is not just the next step and a tool for measuring our actual or current state, but it's also a strategic initiative to identify areas for further development, further improvement, and also to develop actionable plans that will help us meet future challenges on the way to operational excellence. With that all said, I would go for the next slide, which is about the tool what we used, this tool called Lean Compass. You can see that on the left side that it's actually a checklist which measures the lean maturity along 7 perspectives. On the bottom side, it's also written in English, and we're gonna go into the details of these perspectives on the later slides. But first of all, I have to highlight that this checklist is checking the maturity across these 7 perspectives, and also not just checking, but also defining potentials and also offering development packages for further improvement, also per perspective regarding to lean methods. And after this assessment is concluded, the units which are participating have the privilege to develop and also to show the developments on the so-called Gamba Walk event, where the plant leader and our management team can have a hands-on experience about the improvements. They can share some ideas, they can have some insights and also some lessons learned, also positive and also negative. It depends on what the topic was. I'm gonna go further with the slides. To have a little bit deeper, what was our goals with the assessment? Our primary goals were as follows. We wanted to implement structured troubleshooting instead of extinguishing fires. We wanted to reduce the number of reoccurring errors. We wanted to develop the ability to adapt changes. And also, in general, we wanted to develop the problem-solving skills of the managers and the employees. And it's really, really important that the Lean Compass emphasizes a situation-specific development proposals. And of course, it's really not like the traditional assessments, not based on competition and not based on scores. That means that we don't wanted our units, which are checked with this tool, to compete with each other, but we wanted them to check where they are standing now and what they want to reach tomorrow, next year, next month, depends on the situation. So the only reference point from them was themselves, because as a Hungarian would say, we're not comparing apple to a peer. That means you cannot compare a unit within the assembly lane with a unit within the press, which is pressing the metal at the very beginning of the process. And also, it's really important to highlight that we wanted not just to make an evaluation and say, okay, you are standing here, you can improve in that and that specific field, but we also offered, together with our experts, so intern and extern, including the Audi Hungary, some packages, some suggestions, some roads, some visible, makeable roadmap where to get in the next step, what to improve. So we were acting a little bit like coaches or mentors in that way, in that regards. Okay. I think you would say, okay, that's nice and sounds nice, but how did you do it? Actually, we had a really strict time frame for conducting this assessment, because our vehicle factory has at the moment 2 new model ramp-ups. All the 2 models are in the ramp-up phase, so our operational managers are really strict with the time. So as you can see, we had for the survey 8 hours. That means net 6.75 hours per production unit. And from that, we also deducted 1.5 hours for feedbacks and suggestions with the unit leader, and also half an hour with the agreement of the main development packages together with the area manager and the unit leader. Regarding to the procedure, it has and had also 3 main steps. First of all, we were observing the shop floor management meetings on site. These shop floor management meetings are the unit morning rounds. So that's where the unit leader in the morning discussing with this team the issues, the problems, the production, everything. That's what we observed first. Then we went deep dive in interviews. That meant with all the participants, all the shareholders, you can see here listed with the unit leaders, with engineers, with team leaders, also with our lean coaches or continuous improvement coordinators and myself. And after the observing of the shop floor meeting and the interviews, we also went on site. We didn't leave that out as well. So we went on site and we also checked hands-on the discussed topics, the problems, the actual ongoing problems, the actual production. And with that, we could evaluate the 7 perspectives and where they are standing with the different topics. And it's also important to mention that we were really committed with timely with the feedback as well. So every leader get their feedback within 1 to 3 days. We didn't want to leave a lot of time because the assessment was fresh in everybody's head. So it was the best opportunity to discuss it almost straight on, I would say. So we usually use the first day or 1 day. So we didn't even had some cases where we needed 3 days to give a feedback in this regards. Further on, I would like to talk a little bit about the collaboration with Lean Enterprise Institute Hungary. And I have to admit, I find it really important because if you are managing this kind of assessment, if you are measuring a lean maturity, I think the first and very most important thing is that you have to have a foreign eye. That means that you have to have somebody from extern, because if you are working in a plant or in any kind of production and you are working there for years, maybe you become blind for some issues because you are seeing it on a daily basis and maybe you are not even noticing it anymore. And for that, this external eye is really important because they can highlight these kind of issues or topics what you didn't even recognize anymore. And of course, I have to thank our lean coaches. So actually, one of them is our host, Csaba Szalai, and the other one is the Dénes Demeter from the side of Lean Enterprise Institute Hungary, because they provided us also good practices, also within the automotive industry and also a little bit outside of the box from different kind of productions, different kind of areas of and companies. And of course, they really had a significant experience, and it was a pleasure to work with them. That being said, I would go further before Csaba start blushing too much and going to the deep dive with the 7 perspectives of the Lean Compass. As you can see, here is here are the perspectives listed. I hope it's also visible in the bottom, because by myself, not Csaba, do you see it? Also the bottom?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, perfect. So let's start about
maybe if you can reduce the size a little, then maybe we can see all the writings, also the bottom side.
Yeah, that's what I'm not sure of. Oh, maybe yes. Now it's perfect. Now it's visible.
Now it's perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So let's start about the perspectives a little bit. So first, stability. Stability is about monitoring and reacting deviations in time, in real time. So these are the points what we were checking also in the shop floor, in the shop floor runs, in the production, also during the interviews. We were curious about, okay, how can you intervene if a problem is now coming up real time? How can you intervene if something is coming up right now in your production? What can you do? Did you even see it, or you will just discuss it in the next morning? Because it's a really important matter. Then the next perspective is the customer orientation. It's all about understanding and communicating with our customers, and under customers, and I'm not just understanding the end customer who is buying the vehicle, but also the customers in the process chain. So the customer of the assembly lane, the customer of the paint shop, and so on. Then process and information flow. That's about visualizing and controlling material and information flow. How good you are at it? Do you know your bottlenecks? Do you know your tools? Can you control your process, and so on? Then a big topic was by us standard and problem solvings. That's all about standardizing processes and enhancing the problem solving skills. The next perspective was learning organization, where we were curious about how they are fostering mentor-mentee culture, and how is it in general with the upskilling and continuous trainings of our colleagues. Then strategy and goal derivation. It was setting a clear and tracking a clear and achievable goals. That's all topics about how you tracking it. Is it achievable? Is it understandable for all levels, and so on. And last but not least, continuous improvements. That's tracking KPIs and the quality of the process improvements. These were the 7 perspectives that what we went through with our Lean Compass tool. And just to make an example, if I'm highlighting standards and problem solving, that's how we measured it. We really checked already on the shop floor runs in the mornings, what are the actual problems the team leader or the unit leader is talking with their team, what are the actual ongoing problems, do they have some A3 sheets regarding to that. And of course, we went also outside for the production lane to observe how they are solving or how they are processing the problem solving, which is happening at the day when we were checking the unit. Little bit about the evaluation of the Lean Compass based on these 7 perspectives. All the perspectives had observation points. That means that more complex topics were scaled, more complex observation points were scaled from 1 to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and less complex topics were just scaled for 1, 3, and 5. Based on this evaluation and based what we were seeing, we were scaling all the observation points, and based on these observation points, we could make a spider diagram for all of our perspective. That meant that all of our perspective were valued, and it was visibly shown for the unit leader and also for us, okay, which are the fields where the unit performing well and which are the fields where there are additional fields for improvements, where can that unit have some developments. And we didn't stop by that, but when some perspective had a weaker value, then of course we also made suggestions, and we had also development packages offered for the unit to develop that perspective, or even perspective depends on. And as you see on the bottom right side of the screen, which I'm not really seeing now, but I hope you do. We not planning to do
yes,
this.
Yes, we do.
Perfect. Thank you. So we are not just planning to do this assessment once, but we would like to make it almost like a PDCA. So as you can see, we performed the first assessment in the production areas. Then we communicated the results. We made some proposals for developments. Then the units have some time for implement these developments or work on their scores to develop to a next stage. And in between, they can also participate on this so-called Gamba Walk event, where the plant leader and the management team is there, where they can share, okay, I was here based on the Lean Compass, I did this, and this, and I'm now developing that kind of, I don't know, I'm working on my problem solving, for example. And now I think I already developed for a next level, and they can share this experience with our management and also with the parent leader. And of course, the story doesn't stop here, because we are planning that every 2 years, we're gonna repeat this whole circle. Okay, and last but not least, the last slide from my side, some insights and lessons learned on the way. On the left side, it's visible that we have identified some key points, I would say. Let's go step by step, and let's start with the problem-solving issues. So actually, we noticed that there is a typical pattern in our quality of problem-solving. There are some routine involved in the processes with problem solving, and we also noticed that there were actions our actions often aim to identify and capture errors when the error reoccurs, but the focus is not always on the prevention. That means that I'm catching the error on the lane, on the assembly lane, for example, and I'm working on how to catch it, but I'm not working on how to eliminate it. And there were some, not all the time, but there were some solutions which are based on catching it and not eliminating it. So that's definitely a quality which we should improve regarding problem solvings. And also we recognize that by these Pareto analyses, which are focused on the problem, on the problems, they are only focused on the top issues at the plant level, but they did not always address the reoccurring issues at the subunit level that can impact efficiency and costs. So that means that the top issues are always handled and always on focus, but can be some in the subunit level which are not that much in the focus, I would say. And of course, we also checked by the Perspective Learning Organization that structured and conscious training, there is a need for more structured and conscious training for our employees to ensure they are well prepared to handle their task. And training within industry, so TVI method, can be a good tool for this development. And least but not least, by strategic goals and goal settings, our long-term goals are always set, and also by the subunits the goals are set. But on some occasions, they are not completely broken down in a clear and understandable way for all employees. That means that the unit knows their goals, but maybe they cannot completely understand a percentage of quality when they are doing units. So that kind of exchange of the values would be, for example, necessary. But these are the main insights what we bringing now with us for the next period. These are what we are working on now, but there are also some goals to reach in the long run. So at the beginning of the presentation, I said that we want to go in the direction of operational excellence. And of course, also this assessment and also the Lean Compass tool and also all the evaluations are helping us to reach our goals, which are summarized on the right side. So we want to have improved shop floor competencies. For example, mentor-mentee relations, that's a crucial topic, for example. Then improve problem-solving skills. I mentioned some issues about that. Then value stream-oriented thinking, but also not just within the subunit, but also overall process orientation, and transition from point Kaizen to system Kaizen, and continuous improvement, not only with methods, but also with a mindset. And of course, all these together results pays the bill for the increased efficiency and effectiveness, I would say. And that's the road what we choose, and we're gonna continue to go alongside with it. Thank you very much for your attention. At first sight, that's what I wanted to share with you.
Thank you, Ádám. Nice job. Thank you for sharing with us your thoughts about this project. So we have 5 minutes for the questions.
Oh, that much questions.
And there are 7 questions actually that have arrived.
Okay.
So I have to somehow to pick some of them. I can only pick some of them. The first one was, how did you operationalize the Gemba walk?
Operationalized.
So I would say, how does it look like now with the involvement of the top management? What is your current routine? What is the new routine that you have established?
Okay. So that's actually also a next step after this assessment, that we rethinked how to get the management involved in the Gemba works, and we made a new concept for that as well. That means that the topics can be chosen and the units can apply for a time slot. It's every week once, and they can apply with a topic. And of course, in the fixed time, the management is also set this time, and they're gonna come and check that topic which was in the previous week assigned or who applied to this time slot, I would say. I really hope that that was the question.
Thank you. Let's see the next one, which is, did you assess only the manufacturing units or the administration indirect units as well?
That's a really good question. At first, we checked the production units, so the direct units, as a German would say. But for the next year, it's also planned to check the office environment, so all the indirect units which are not working on the car, but they are the office or these back office units as well. So it's gonna be rolled out also for the office environment.
Great. The next one, understanding you don't have different business units competing against each other in lean outcomes or transformation progress. Do you see the value in competition between various Audi sites?
I would say not really. I was when I was at Volkswagen, I was making a similar program. The only difference was that on that program, the 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 different the different plants were competing with each other, and the competition is good till one point, but when the focus took over competition and not about how I can get better, then it's already becoming, after a while, I would say, a little bit unhealthy. So that's why I'm not a really big fan of it, because I see it hands-on. It's really starting good when different plants are competing, but then after a while, it's more about competition than about how to improve myself in specific fields.
Thank you. So the next one is, thank you for sharing your process for maturity assessment. We find that no matter how many times we stress that it's not about the score and tell our leaders to focus on the behaviors, there is sometimes an unhealthy focus on the score and checking the box. What was your experience being with this situation? Do you have any lessons learned recommendations?
Yes, I really feel the same pain, I would say, because that's just human habit. So that's you cannot ignore nowhere. So everybody gonna have this competition spirit. We had as well. So we always stressed and highlighted to not to compete, and we are communicated in that way that we closed the communication, so we didn't allow for the units to compare each other's scores. So that was actually our main I would say dogma, that we are not sharing the results, also not in the management rounds, also not for the big management, because also we didn't want them also not to compete. So
okay.
they get the results just separated for themselves, and that
Okay,
helped a little bit.
time is up. Thank you, really, again, for sharing your story with us, Adam. Thank you.
I thank you as well. I hope you enjoyed it.
Definitely. Bye.
Bye bye.
Guys, bye.